Yeah, what's good, cryptocurrency fans out there? Welcome back to the Everything Altcoin channel. Today, we're going to be talking about how Aerodrome Finance has finally changed the game for Coinbase and Base forever, and talk a little bit more about the thesis and how it's playing out as of right now, because things is getting hot for Aerodrome. Honestly, it's getting hot. It's taking off just like, its name. It's a drone and it's going up. So before we get into talking about all of that, I would like to ask you guys, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. We're on the road to 20k subscribers. If you guys want to help out with that, hit that red subscribe button. Don't forget to like the video, comment what you guys think down below. And while you guys are down here, you guys can hit that Discord link to join the Discord to continue the crypto conversation we're having daily. And this is the most important time you guys can ask your most important question, which is how does that Patreon group work? As you guys know, we have been getting into some bangers. You guys do not want to miss out on these bangers, especially while Patreon is having this deal right now. You guys can get your feet wet in the Patreon group, and if you guys want to check out the post, the plays I've gotten into on Patreon, you guys can see it. There's a post, there's a few posts up there showing the plays I've got into and where they at the time of making the post, and most of them that we got into is in huge green positions. So if you don't want to miss out on the next banger of a play, you guys got to check out that Patreon group. Check out my ebook to the Essentials to Mastering Tokenomics. This will help you guys pick out the next gem in your cryptocurrency portfolio once you're able to understand market cap, FDV, circulating supply, investing, narratives. All of that is very important to picking out the next gem in your cryptocurrency portfolio. Links for that will be in the description and the comment section down below. And let's get right into the video, guys. So today, Aerodrome is looking beautiful, right? It is up. On the year, it's up 108%, which is decent, right? It's becoming that blue chip altcoin. So it being up pretty much double is huge, right? Sitting at a market cap at $1.2 billion, FDV of $2.3 billion. Its all-time high was $2.32. So it's pretty much just down a little bit under $1 to its all-time high. Now, if you guys remember back when I was talking a lot about Aerodrome, I was telling you guys the thesis of how it's going to become the main DEX and things like that of Base. But now the even more bullish thing is, even with all this integration that has happened, like it rolling out on Coinbase, you guys already know, you guys already seen the big news. Aerodrome is, integrated into Coinbase, allowing for a lot of Base altcoins to have the exposure on Coinbase at day one, right? But Jesse puts out this tweet. By the way, Coinbase DEX is only rolled out to 1% of the customers. And you guys can see the growth is more than $2 billion in volume. And that was just on Base, right? This is going to continue to grow as it expands to more Coinbase users, right? But the thing is, as Base continues, especially Base, right? Because Coinbase, everybody knows about Coinbase. Everybody loves Coinbase. But Base as the chain, as it continues to not have a token, right? A token that you can trade, right? And the growth for it and Coinbase is going skyrocket, right? People are going to be betting more on Aerodrome as essentially the substitute token for Base, the Base chain. Essentially, the success of Base chain will be on Aerodrome and its token, and that honestly has been plain as day from seeing it from the early stages. You guys could have seen it if you guys even pay attention a lot to my channel. If you guys remember back last cycle, I told you guys two things that you guys need to look for when it comes down to a new chain: the launchpad, which now has fizzled out. No one really cares too much about Launchpad, but one that has always stayed true is looking for the main DEX. And we've hit on the main DEX on a few different chains, and Coinbase has not, well, Base has not been different. Now Leonard puts out this tweet here, right? Still don't think crypto Twitter has realized how big of a deal the Coinbase DEX news really is. Retail is coming for your bags, our bags actually, right? Became a meme this cycle, but it's actually true now for all Base assets. I love when I start to see people talk about what I've been talking about, because guess where the retail users is? You really looking for, right? They're pretty much all on Coinbase. They are on Sexes. Most retail don't feel comfortable trading on chain, but now they can trade easily on chain on Base via the Coinbase app. Millions of users, and even it's just tens of thousands that actually trade on chain assets. That's still more real people than most chain ecosystem have combined. This is huge. This is honestly very true, right? I've told you guys, Ethereum is now becoming the institutional layer. This is where your big boys, the Black Rocks, all of them, they're buying up a bunch of Ethereum. They're going to be using that as the institutional layer. Coinbase and Base is for the retail users. This is where you're going to get the cheap fees, the cheap altcoins, low market cap. Everyone's going to be there, and it's going to be easily accessible to hundreds of millions of users, however many users are going to end up using are using Coinbase as of right now. So this is huge. And Beamish even puts out this tweet reply right under it: retail doesn't want MetaMask. After FTX, Luna, etc., they want the same SECs that hold the USA's assets. It's base season. We're not going to talk about room, but it's base season. This is true. So Kyron puts out this tweet. The thing about Aero, it's not just a DEX, it's the liquidity anchor for Coinbase's L2 ecosystem. Here's why that matters. Deep pools attracts traders, more volumes and reward. Liquidity attracts projects, which attracts users and even more liquidity. Native Coinbase on-ramp and funnel fresh capital straight into Aero pools, right? Some of the highest rewards and revenue stats across DeFi. I said it before and I'll say it again. Betting on Aero is like betting on the success of Base being a liquid, successful L2. He said it much better than I did, honestly. At the last part, betting on Aero is you're basically betting on Base. Now, I had to mention this one because he puts out Aero is on his way to becoming the top 20. And if you guys remember this post, if you guys don't know, basically Fat Joe is saying yesterday's price is not today's price, and this is exactly what's going on with Aerodrome. It's not yesterday's price, because even looking at the video I made last month, essentially about me, well, it's not about me, it's why everyone was now talking about Aerodrome and Aerodrome versus Uniswap. People are starting to see that it's probably going to overtake Uniswap. And as Jonas says in this tweet here, right, Aero will flip Uni. So this actual conversation is starting to become a thing. Could it be a possibility? Let's see. At the time of recording this video, Uniswap was at $5 billion market cap, right? And it was just about a 700% and 708% gain for Aerodrome to actually get to Uniswap's market cap of that day. Now, I was saying before, I don't know if it was going to flip Uni. I don't know, but it's starting to become more of a thing, more of a discussion that is looking more and more likely as the day goes on. Remember, we only got 1% of users actually using the Coinbase DEX. Imagine what it looks like, and that's at a $2 billion value, a $2 billion volume, right? Imagine what it looks like when it's at 100% right now. If Aero was supposed to capture or flip Uni, that would mean it would need to get up to about a $7.2 billion market cap, which is possible, which is very possible, right? One Aero would be worth $8.28, an upside of 500% gain. That is very, honestly, it's starting to look very doable, guys. And going back to Uniswap's on CoinGecko, if the thesis is true, right? I just flipped it to the max chart. If the thesis is true that the way we're going to bet on Base is through Aerodrome, and Base looking like it's going to be the highest L2, the biggest L2, overtaking maybe BNB. We're going to even look at BNB as well, right? Because we're using Aero as a substitute for Base's token, as it does not have a token. So for everyone to get exposure to Base, is going to be through Aerodrome. Previously, all-time high for about Uniswap was about $22 billion market. If Aerodrome hits that $22 billion market cap, that's honestly 17x from today's prices. Now, what I'm going to say is I don't think it's going to hit this price target this cycle at all. Maybe next cycle, but who knows? Who knows? Because we could have an extended cycle from what people are saying. If there's an extended cycle, this thing could go ballistic. And what if it is the proxy to Base token? What if it is the proxy to Base token and it actually reaches the market cap of BNB? Oh no, this thing could get crazy. Honestly, this thing could get crazy. I don't think this is going to happen. This is like this is one of those dreams that you just hope maybe it happens, but I don't think so, right? This is just a hopium, a fun little price prediction. Take all of this with a grain of salt, at, of course, all times. But like I said, Aero has changed the game for pretty much all DEXs. Honestly, I'm starting to believe this is going to be first. You're going to hear it first on this channel. I'm starting to believe that these layer ones, layer 2s, I think their proxy, their tokens should be the DEX. That's just me. You let me know how you guys feel about that in the comment section down below. And if you guys haven't subscribed already yet, please do so. We're on the road to 20K subscribers, and I'll check you guys later. Peace, YouTube.